On today's season preview, part 9.
Can anyone stop Warriors-Cavs round 4? We'll make our NBA Finals predictions.
Does Houston have the best backcourt? Is Denver the toughest team to predict? Will Chicago have the league's worst record?
And in Crossfire, we dish out some tips for surviving the marathon NBA season.
The Starters' 82 Burning Questions starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to part 9 of the Starters NBA season preview. Whether you're joining us live right now on NBA TV or later on YouTube, we're very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Taz Mellis.
Thank you for joining us.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis. Lily, and last, certainly not least, down yonder, it's the bearded one, it's Trey Kirby. Hey-o! We are continuing to answer 82 burning questions about the upcoming NBA season. This is the final chapter of our nine-part preview series, so if you missed any of our first 8 shows, go check them on YouTube. We've got 9 questions left to tackle, 4 in the up-down report, 3 in Crossfire, and 2 right now. We ask you to play along on Twitter, hashtag the Starters, with your answers. Question 74 overall, guys. Let's get right to the end of the season here. What's your NBA Finals prediction?
We know. We know it's Cavs Warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, is anyone not going to predict that those two teams will be in the finals? So I look at it more like which team is less likely to get to the NBA Finals.
Okay.
And I feel like the Cavs have a pretty easy path. I don't want to call the Celtics, Raps, and Wizards pushovers, but I think the Warriors will have a tougher path when it comes to the playoffs. They should be playing 2 of the Rockets, Spurs, Thunder in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a tougher path.
Do they have a weakness, though, with the Warriors? That's the thing.
No.
I mean,
You can't find any weakness with the Warriors. Rebounding? Maybe rebounding.
Maybe,
That's it.
sure. But when
Fine, yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe the only thing.
Turnovers, I suppose.
they're unselfish. They're incredibly well coached. Steve Kerr lets everybody have a say in what they're doing. Their offense is great. Their defense is great. They've got experience. They've been there before.
They've got like
MVPs.
4 star players, and then they
Exactly.
have complementary players as well. Yeah.
Honestly, outside of an injury or something sort of internal chaos, think about the Lakers in 2004. Remember Shaq and Kobe at the end? Even though those 2 guys were clashing heads, that was at the worst of their relationship. They still made the finals, didn't they? They lost to the Pistons. That's really the only thing I think can derail the Warriors in the West if something crazy happens in the locker room. We know that at times Draymond's an emotional guy, but I still don't think that's enough to derail them. They're just too good and too deep.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't foresee any sort of beefs, considering they have not 1 but 2 group chats for their text messages between them. They seem like they're all best buds. They're having a great time just trying to win championships. And even though I guess maybe something can happen if it's going into their 4th season as one of the best teams in the league, but it's really only their 2nd season with the Big Four. And the 2nd season, once you add that major piece, you get even better. 67 wins last year. They've added great bench players. They've got the continuity. They've got the familiarity. They're going to be better this year.
And think of what happened in that second year, the first time, when they lost that 3-1 lead. They now have a chance to repeat again. They're not just going to give that away. They understand how tough it is to win. Even when you look like you're on the brink of winning a championship, it's not over until it's over. So they've even got that playoff toughness into them where they're like, we know we have to go out and take care of business.
Their last title defense season started 24-0.
Yeah.
They didn't lose till the 25th game, so even that goes well. Who is the biggest challenger, though? Who's the biggest challenger in the West, or is it just when you get to the finals and maybe a LeBron Cavs team?
I mean, we talked about it in part 1, whether it was the Thunder or the Rockets. We all sort of dismissed the Spurs, and I do want to talk about the Spurs a little bit because they have an MVP candidate that no one is really talking about in Kawhi Leonard. It's possible because he is a little bit banged up right now, but this team still believes, and this team has gone out to get better to be able to play with the Warriors. They were up 21 points in the Western Conference Final Game 1 when Kawhi Leonard went down. Is LaMarcus Aldridge better this year? I do think that he took a right step in going and talking to Greg Popovich in the summer and saying, listen, when I was with Portland, the team went to me at the beginning of the game and the entire game, and I think that will change. It'll change like it did with Chris Bosh in the Heat and Kevin Love with the Cavs a little bit. Just come to me at the beginning of games, and that will help. And they went and got Rudy Gay because he will be their Swiss Army knife off the bench, like Andre Iguodala, that can unlock their 4 out and 1 in, like Draymond Green and that death lineup of the Warriors. I think they can play like that. And again, if there's one team that has played them well over the last year.
Sure.
It's not the Cavs. It's the Spurs who beat them twice in the regular season, and we're up in the Western Conference
Celtics
Finals.
played them well too, but their whole team has changed
Yeah.
over. I think the Rudy Gay is going to be a huge addition for the Spurs. I don't know if it's enough to push them over the top. I think that even when they go 4 out, 1 in, that 1 in is such at an athleticism disadvantage, whether it's Powell or LaMarcus Aldridge, that's still going to be a problem even with Rudy Gay around.
I look forward to LA trying to be his best.
Sure.
Because if they do go and get him involved, I mean, he is still a very, very capable player who can pot 30. And even on the defense, Greg Popovich said that when I talked to LaMarcus Aldridge not being involved, it was about the offense. Because defensively, he has worked his butt off.
Yeah, he's a big.
Yeah, and you'd think that he's a slow-footed big out there, but when he gets in that pick and roll, he has moved pretty well. And I think you mentioned the Celtics. I think Danny Ainge has basically said, we're waiting for LeBron to get old. With these trades, he wants LeBron to become 34 and 35. And is LeBron going to falter? I think that's the only way the Cavs don't make it, if that 33-year-old falters. But he was working out like a bald head nut in June. He's not getting old this year.
So there it is. All of us taking the Warriors over the Cavs in the final. Is this good or bad? I mean, we can get to that question maybe when we get into the regular season. If we're all picking this, round 4 of these guys meeting up in the finals, is that great? Is that bad for the league? Again, well, we can save that one. For right now, question 75, and that is, what is your biggest wish for the upcoming season? You can go anywhere with this.
Honestly, I hope the Warriors struggle at some point this season. Because otherwise, like you're saying, we're all just waiting until June to see the Warriors romp. Draymond Green said that they didn't even worry about the Cavs in the finals last year, and he's surprised they didn't sweep them. 93% of GMs picked the Warriors to win the title this year. There was a little period last year after the All-Star game. They won their first 3, then they lost 5 of 7 when Kevin Durant was out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And for a little bit there, it seemed like maybe the Warriors aren't going to win the title. We need that to happen again this year, just so people aren't saying it's all a write-off the entire season.
Do you think they will suffer complacency at all? I mean, is it just bad form, or do you think something like that could happen with them?
No, not really. I mean, I think they can have, they can have 2 of their best players have bad games and still blow out other teams.
Well, that's the thing. Even if one of those guys, when Durant gets injured, they didn't really miss a beat. No. They
exactly.
Still just as good because they can slot in someone like Iguodala off the bench, and they've still got good depth off the bench, guys like Livingston and David West. So you just hope they have to go cold or...
Yeah, or maybe it's not even that they struggle as so much as another team, be it the Rockets, Spurs, Thunder, Celtics or Cavs, look at least for months at a time sort of unbeatable as well. And you're like, whoa, maybe the matchup is there.
Exactly.
Maybe they could take them down. You're right. It'll make the season a lot better, that's for sure. What wish you got?
To me, I want Joel Embiid to stay healthy. He missed February, March, and April last year. He's played 1 game in the preseason thus far. And that 1 game gave me enough to believe that this guy could be in the Hall of Fame if he stays healthy.
He played like 14 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 14 minutes, 15
like
minutes, 22 points. 14 were from the line, but who cares? I mean, the skill set that this guy has. He's shooting a Dirk right there. The block that he had at the other end. He has Hall of Fame talent. He has Hall of Fame personality. The guy has it all. We just need him to stay healthy.
A really quick wish here, looking at the February All-Star break. I hope this new format of picking teams with the captains, I hope it pays off.
Sure.
I hope we get a very entertaining draft, and there are people like LeBron or maybe Durant not picking their particular guys they used to play with, be it in Kyrie or Westbrook. And then it maybe translates to the game a little bit, and maybe it is a little bit more competitive. Just hoping for that. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, it's the ultimate barroom debate. Who is the NBA's best backcourt? That and more when we come back. Back with the starters, 82 burning questions right into the up-down report. A few questions here for you guys. Question 76 overall. Do the Houston Rockets have the NBA's best backcourt? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Everybody says no. Everybody says no.
They haven't played together yet, so we can't name them as the best backcourt. And especially when you're going up against Steph and Clay, 2 NBA All-Star, All-NBA players. They potentially could be if things work out, but right now, no, they're not.
Yeah, if you have both James Harden and Chris Paul at their prime and they've played together for a couple of seasons, I think they would definitely be the best backcourt in the league. But like you're saying, we haven't seen it happen yet. There's definitely going to be adjustments between the 2 of them figuring out who has the ball. Harden's going to have to adjust to playing off ball. Chris Paul's going to have to adjust to a guy like in James Harden who is ball dominant, who he hasn't really played with before. There's just things to figure out with them. And then when you look at the Warriors, they're a little bit younger. They're a little bit more durable. And they've been doing it for season after season after season together.
And Klay Thompson takes the other team's best offensive player. You can't say that about the Rockets backcourt.
All right, simple as that. Question 77. Sorry to ask this, Trey. Will the Chicago Bulls be the worst team in the league thumbs up or thumbs down? Yeah. Whoa!
Strong
Whoa!
thumb.
Everybody. I'm a little shocked by this. There are some other bad teams in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody thinks it's the Bulls.
Well, I'm also just kind of hoping the Bulls are the worst team in the league
Ah.
because this is the last year without lottery reform. They need to have a terrible record and get a really high draft pick so they can get their next star. They've got maybe the worst point guard rotation in the league, and 2 of those guys are already hurt. And the big thing to me is you look at their team, who is their best player, right?
Lopez?
He's hurt. Zach LaVine probably.
Yeah, exactly. Zach
Yeah.
LaVine, he might come back in December. We still don't know how he's going to be coming
Yeah.
off of a knee injury. The other teams who are down low in the standings, at least they have, kind of cornerstone players. A guy like Eric Bledsoe is really good. Devin Booker,
D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell.
Yep.
There are just more talented young guys.
What about the Hawks?
I would take Dennis Schroeder over anybody on the Bulls.
Ooh, I think the Hawks are going to be a rough team too this year.
I'll say that-
and they should be actually.
Yeah, I'll say a thing about the Eastern Conference, bottom rung there, the
Yeah.
Hawks, the Nets.
Magic maybe.
Yeah, well, at least I'd say the Hawks and the Nets. At least they have a style that they've played the last couple of years.
Yep.
The Budenholzer Hawks,
Yep.
the Kenny Atkinson Nets.
Yep.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing with their style. I'm not sure the Bulls do.
The Bulls front office don't seem to know what they're doing. This goes back to last season. Remember when they added Wade? and
Last
they
season.
Well, last 3 or 4 seasons, really.
Last 20 years?
Yeah, they bring in Fred Hoiberg a couple of years ago. Don't really have a style to fit his coaching game. Then they bring in older guys last season, overpaid for them, and now they're both gone. And then they trade their young star, Jimmy Butler, who I believe Gar Forman said in the summer, we want guys who are young and in their prime. Well, Butler's 27, 28.
You're like reading all the text messages from my friends right now. This is exactly what it sounds like, just chatting with my friends from back home. Yeah.
So, and the thing is, I don't really see what they're even still trying to do right now. Like, if
Be
you're
bad.
Gonna, yeah, if
They're
you-
trying to be
well,
bad.
Okay, so
A
they're-
good season would
yeah.
be to be very bad, I
Yeah,
think.
which
Yeah.
is crazy.
What about the Jordan Bell draft pick? Throw that in the group chat.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
understand why they sold the draft.
Well, because they didn't want to have to pay out Rondo. They had to pay Rondo, remember? He
Get
had
some money back.
Yeah, $3 million.
That-
All right.
Wild.
Question 78. Are the Denver Nuggets the toughest team to predict? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Are they the toughest team? I think
Yeah.
they're tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're tough.
I like their roster. I like the players. I like Paul Millsap coming in. Jokic is great. Gary Harris could be great. But it's all got to come together for them. They were a very, very bad defensive team last year. They should improve this year. How much? We'll find out because...
They were a 500 ball club last year.
Yeah,
You say
yeah,
the big addition of Paul Millsap.
Yeah, and a lot of
I mean,
that was based on their offense. They scored so many points.
Yeah.
But defensively, they need, if they're going to be a legit playoff contender, they need to be a much better defensive team. And Jokic, I've talked about him before, whether or not he's a bad defender or it was just a bad defensive system, he needs other guys to come around, but he also needs to improve.
Okay, you said no, so who is it?
I don't know exactly who it
You
is.
don't think
I just
it's
think
Denver?
that the Nuggets are definitely going to be good. They were a top 5 offense last year. They play fast, which you kind of have to do in Denver. Paul Millsap is a perfect partner for Jokic. They should improve defensively. They're going to be a trade candidate. They'll probably add guys eventually. I just think they're going to definitely be good. The Clippers, though, are a team.
The Clippers,
that are
to
hard
me,
to
I keep
predict.
going from like 35 wins, I can
Exactly.
see, the sky is falling, to being 55 win team if Blake gets back to all NBA Blake and that
Plays
works.
80 games.
And they got a great, and Beverly and Teodosic and then DeAndre's, like I keep talking myself, I keep going back and forth. I'm
Yeah.
like, they could be brutal without Chris Paul, or they could be fine. I don't know. So they're very, very tough to predict, but the Nuggets are right there.
Well, when DeAndre and Blake Griffin were on the floor without Chris Paul last year, they were actually a better offensive team. So they do know how to operate without him. Small sample size,
Yeah.
and Chris Paul's a great player, but it's not as though they completely fall apart without him.
We will see. All right, final one here. This one coming from Default Accounta on Twitter. Wants to know, did the Celtics win the offseason? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I say no. To me, I go Celtics, Thunder. The Thunder may have set themselves up for this year very well, and they may have surprised with who they acquired. Those were both shocking moves
Yeah.
to get Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, but the Celtics have set themselves up for the long term because we don't know what the Thunder are going to be long term. So I'd say it was more shocking for the Thunder, but the Celtics, the prospect of who they're going to be for a long period of time is better.
See, I feel the exact same way, but for the complete opposite reasons. I like what the Celtics did. I think they increased their talent, but also maintained their timeline. I think this season we're going to just see the Celtics be better than they were last year, whereas we don't really know what's going to happen with the Thunder and the Rockets, really. Is that what I'm talking about? The Thunder and the Rockets? Anyways, the Thunder, for sure, because of the Thunder and the Cavs.
Don't
That's
ask me,
what I
man.
mean. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. The Thunder and the Cavs. We don't know what's going to happen with LeBron next year. We don't know what's going to happen with Paul George and Melo. We can't really judge those trades until we see if those guys stick around, because if bringing Isaiah Thomas in is what keeps LeBron in Cleveland, then that's the winner for this offseason, even though it doesn't happen until next offseason. Because
I get-
getting LeBron and keeping LeBron is the biggest win you can have as a personnel.
Yeah, I go with the Thunder, though, because of what Sam Presti gave up to get Paul
Okay.
George and Carmelo
Okay.
Anthony. I mean, he gave up Oladipo, he gave up Enes Kanter, he gave up Sabonis and someone else, Dougie McDermott as well.
Right.
And he got 2 all-star players in return. So
You have to call him Dougie? Can't call him Doug.
no way, man.
Okay, Dougie
On his
Bugs.
birth
Dougie.
certificate.
All right, let's hear from you guys. Did the Celtics win the offseason, or was it the Thunder, another team, the Cavs maybe? Let's hear from you guys. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we are in to the crossfire. It's Trey versus Tass, and they'll debate who will be the biggest name traded this season. Come on back. Yeah! Welcome to Crossfire. This is how it works. I'm going to give these 2 guys 3 questions to debate. I'll declare a winner, and the winner will stay. That'll continue in the regular season. Here we go. First round, question number 80 overall. I'm ready to circle a date on the NBA calendar. What's the most anticipated regular season game? Here we go.
My most anticipated regular season game is the very first one on opening night. Cavs, Celtics in Cleveland, the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference battling it out. That's fine. More importantly, this is the birth of a new rivalry. We got Kyrie Irving coming back to Cleveland. After talking smack about Cleveland, the Boo Birds are going to be out. It's going to be fun to see how these 2 teams throw down in their very first matchup.
That's
Right
an
away!
obvious one. That is an obvious one. I'm also going with an early season matchup, November 2nd, Spurs-Warriors. They will both be ready because the Warriors want revenge for last night's opening night shellacking. They were smoked by 29 points by the Spurs, and the Spurs will also be ready because they must be thinking, what if Kawhi Leonard doesn't get hurt when we're up 21 points in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals? If there's one team that has
That's in the past, man. We're talking about the future.
You just talked about Kyrie Irving's past with the Cavs.
Second round, question 81 overall. Butler, Paul George, Chris Paul, Melo. Crazy offseason, a lot of big trades. But who's going to be the biggest name traded this season? Here we go.
Marc Gasol. I think the grit and grind era is over. I have loved this era, but I think they've reached their peak. 7 straight years of the postseason. Where do they go from here? Marc Gasol is going to be 33 this season. He's been the best center in the league overall the last 5 years, I believe, but he's almost 33. There are no real promising prospects with the Grizzlies. There's no way they're going to take out the Warriors. I think it's time to get a little bit of trade value for Marc before he's like 35 years old.
For me, it's Eric Bledsoe from the Phoenix Suns. He's somehow an old guy on this team, despite the fact he's just going to be 28 this year. He's one of only 4 guys born in the 80s on that team. He's been in rumors forever. He's got a really nice contract to trade, $14.5 million this year, $15 next. They've already been talking up Devin Booker as their future Harden sort of style player. I just think Eric Bledsoe's a little too old for this team. I don't know how that's possible. It's true.
Okay, nice battle
Couple
here.
oldies.
Third round, and our final question of 82 burning questions. Real ball, it tips on Tuesday, and we won't officially wrap until June. What's one tip for surviving this marathon NBA season? Here we go.
There's going to be lots of great Western Conference games, so you're not getting much sleep. That means you're getting sick, so stock up on illness fighters. Get you some Mucinex, get you some elixirs, get you some emergency, get you some Dayquil, and definitely get you some Ricola. At this point, I'm more medicine than man, and I'm feeling great.
Wow, it's a pharmacy over
Nice,
here.
nice. I don't think you have to give a tip for surviving the NBA season, but I will. The surround sound speakers in your living room.
Ooh,
that is
baller!
key. That is key. Even if you can't pay for it, just DIY. Get some speakers, place them behind you. It's like you go to the Bankers Life Field House and you're there. You'll hear from one speaker, "Come on, Miles Turner, you're a bum." You'll survive every single night because it'll just be so much fun in your living room, right?
Quite the battle, gentlemen. But the winner of this crossfire is... We're giving it to Trey Kerr of the Pharmacy! We're giving it to TK!
Weird.
Got so much medicine.
Gross.
Whoa! Medic!
What are you like, Gojella from Survivor?
When we return, we're going to count down the top 10 plays of the preseason. Back to the starters. The games, they don't really count, but the highlights, they sure do. We're counting down the top 10 plays from the preseason minus one night. Minus Friday night here. At number 10, Kyle Kuzma fever is at an all-time high.
Oh, yeah, they're calling him in Kuz Control.
That's right. Skying for the oop on that one. We're not done. Woo!
Oh, yeah, nice.
Beautiful spin in the lane and the finish. Kyle Kuzma for MVP. Okay, you heard it here first.
We got 3 beauty passes here at number 9. Nikola
Oh,
Jokic
yeah.
putting it on
yeah.
the floor, the no-looker. Yeah,
Welcome
count that,
back.
baby.
Yes, welcome back.
Ridiculous stuff here. Not a top 10 play. We got a billion plays
man.
here. The no-look from James Harden.
You know I like to stretch
Nene.
the top 10, Tass.
Yeah, why not? Let's stretch this pass out. Hey, Milos. Milos Teodosic, welcome to the NBA.
We're throwing lawn darts out here.
A 30-year-old bearded rookie. Look at him.
In Hawaii, even.
So pretty.
Nice finish, too. At number 8, this guy's been on the top 10 lists for, 14 years? Dwayne Wade.
Never in a
bad.
Cavs uniform, though.
No, that's a first. You're right, Lee.
Never number 9.
At number 7, Joel Embiid is back.
Get up. Oh, that's like a video game block.
Joel Embiid that shot out of bounds.
Nice to have him back. Nice to have him back. Nice to have horrible
Got to get
puns
him out
back.
in the preseason.
At number 6, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
With the chase down block, Justin Anderson. He just punched that
He
one.
likes a big wind up on his
Oh,
face.
he's flexing too while the game's still going.
Look out for this 7-3 man here with the left-handed block. Going the other way, both ways. Are the Knicks going to be fun this year? Who knows? Tim Hardaway Jr. finishing off the alley-oop. Great block from Kristaps Porzingis.
From baseline.
To baseline. At number 4, Kyrie Irving. In transition, clowning Dwight a little bit. And then the super casual finisher, like he's getting blocked if he goes up with his right hand, so I'll just go underneath.
Julius Randle, this monster posterization of Mason Plumlee, putting Mason in a jar. Jarring those plums. What a huge block. Got it.
At number 2, John Wall blows by Beasley. He's got too many watches on. Slowing him down. Wall punches it home with his left hand. He's right-handed, but he dunks with his left hand all the time.
And number 1, 2 Jeff Green plays. Finishing the alley-oop, reaching way back
Yeah, that's nice.
to grab that.
And that's not his best.
No,
So-
the dunk. The dunk is his best here after some great ball movement. The left-handed jam on Jan
Yeah,
Mahimi.
oh, give
He
us
is
the
a
baseline.
great
Oh.
in-game dunker.
Give us the
Go
baseline.
up, go up, go up.
Oh!
It's got a little Tom Gugliotta, Mark Jackson.
Whoa, hold it back, LeBron. What are we ordering?
LeBron liked it so much.
Two
he
orders of the
ordered.
dunk, please.
Wow, there it is, the top 10 plays from the preseason, not including one night. All right, quick look at the Twitter poll results. A lot of people say the Bulls will
Wow.
be the worst team in the league. I'm a little shocked that people are picking an Eastern Conference team with the loaded
That's true.
Western Conference.
True.
We got our first drop podcast. It is up. You can go catch it on Apple Podcasts. We also have it up on our website. It was a blast. Trey gave us a 10-minute breakdown of the Garth Brooks concert last night.
Hey, my friends were here in low places. I had to tell you guys what was going down.
So catch that. That was the drop. Tuesday, it's the return of the Starters Twitter show. We're live on Twitter at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's always a blast. We interact with you guys right there on the spot. Till Tuesday for the Twitter show, and then 5:30 for the start of the NBA season. We'll be right back here at this desk. Have a great weekend. We'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us, folks. After 82 questions, we're pretty tired. It's time to get your sleep in. Best league in the world, Tips Tuesday.
Race weekend, people.